Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all my blessed beloveds out there in Living and Thriving Land. You are watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and this is the last day of a whirlwind Olympic marathon interviewing schedule that I've had. I am leaving to go to Charlotte, North Carolina next week to start filming my TV series that I was invited to film a TV series. Let me find my tongue. Hold on. Okay. I was invited to do this TV series on my upcoming book, The Truth About Poverty. And it's scary and it's humbling, and we're in the middle of a pandemic, and poverty is a huge issue. And it's a huger issue now because now people who are really struggling, the resources and availability for those resources are pretty much null and void because everybody's shut down. So it's going to be a really interesting time period to videotape this series. I have been very fortunate enough to be able to travel all over the world, and meet inspiring people that just liberate your mind to the point where you want to challenge yourself. You want to dig deep. You want to motivate yourself to improve some aspect of your life. Even if it's a little tiny part, it's still an improvement. And I'm really super excited because I have Eddy on today. And Eddy, you just got out of work?
Hi, Rusty. How you doing?
Oh man, I live in Florida. It's Jurassic Park, rainbows, sunshine, manatees, dolphins, and Mickey Mouse. I can't complain.
Oh, then you know how hot I am out here working. I live in Florida too. What part of Florida you live in?
Oh, no way. I live in Inglewood, south of Sarasota.
Oh, Inglewood. Okay, I know exactly where that is. Yeah.
What part are you in?
I'm in Palm Beach Gardens.
Oh, okay. That's where I grew up on the East Coast, but I don't like the traffic. So I'm on the West Coast. And it's following
I don't blame you there. What's that?
I said it's following me. These people don't realize Arizona has more room right now.
Yeah, they could go out there and they could drive all they want to. But yeah, there's a lot of traffic down here, and it's grown and grown and grown every single year.
Well, I appreciate that you were working outside because it is hotter than Hades right now. I'm telling you, I can't get my body in the freezer fast enough.
Yeah. I had an emergency I had to take care of out here. So I said, but I don't want to miss the show, you know?
That's okay.
I want to keep going.
You know, so I don't know if you've ever watched any of the shows, Eddy, but I'm really big about being the authentic you. And the reality is you're out working and this is who you are and this is reality. We're good.
Absolutely.
So we are absolutely good because you are a real version of you, and that's what I like. That's what Living and Thriving is about. Eddy?
Well, authenticity is fantastic.
That's right. That's when you make the best friends.
Absolutely.
You don't give a shit anymore. You have absolutely no more filter. You're not quite old, and you have the best relationships when it just, none of that matters.
You let it go.
That's it. So Eddy, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do what you do?
Well, I tell you right now, I'm doing construction, handyman work as an income. Okay. Who I am is I'm a guy that loves to give into this world, who loves to set the example for people to follow as far as being authentic, as far as doing the right things when nobody's looking. When somebody's looking, it's easy to do the right thing, but when nobody's looking, that's when it really shows what your character is. And it's absolutely wonderful. I one time walked from Deerfield Beach, Florida to Manhattan, New York, just to share the smile, because my smile and everybody's smile is my passion, sharing it. I want to share 10 million smiles in my lifetime.
Well, and what's beautiful about smiling is that it changes your physiology, it changes your neurons, it changes your breathing. And you're raised, you're up, and smiling is huge.
Smiling opens doors that you never thought was possible to open. It is so funny when you are authentic, when you're smiling, when you're sharing with people, when you're laughing, when you're coming from your heart, the world is going to open up to you, and there's no stopping it. It's just all the good things are going to come your way. And it's just such a beautiful thing to see all the things that can open up and how you can share and how you can make friends and how you can help other people just by setting that example.
Well, and it's fun because we're in an era where people are wearing a mask. And
Yeah.
I find it funny because my mask like sucks up my whole face. So even if I do smile, because I'm always smiling, I'm a relatively happy person. How can you not be with it always being sunny? It's like a drug, right? The happy drug.
Right. Absolutely.
And there's a whole bunch of jokes that people have because sometimes people look like they're actually glaring at you when they're smiling under the mask. And you know, you have fun with it. But I think your body posture can smile too, and I think you can wave, and you don't have to be a sourpuss about it. This is what it is, right?
Oh, it is what it is. And the thing is that if you want to see if somebody smiles, look at the corners of their eyes, because you can tell by the corners of their eyes whether they're smiling or not. And you know, the beauty of it is that energy carries with it. It just protrudes out to the people. And yes, we're all wearing masks and we're wearing gloves and things like this. And a lot of people think doom and gloom, but actually this is an opportunity to grow who you are during a time that they call a pandemic. And it's so wonderful to go inside of yourself, discover who you are, and bring out the best of that and show it to the world. Set the example to the other people.
This is a great time to invest in yourself, you know,
Absolutely
dig deep, roll up your sleeves and get it done. And what's awesome about it is there's no pressure, and we really don't have time. Time is kind of in limbo right now for most of us, don't you think?
Oh yeah, time is definitely in limbo right now. And see, this is an opportunity for you to really follow your passion and to go out there and start setting it up. Maybe your passion is to go out and be a speaker. Okay, if you want to be a speaker, well, guess what? You can't do it right now, but you can get on these Zoom calls and practice here on the Zoom calls.
There we go.
Sorry.
I love technology.
Oh, for some reason it's not.
I can hear you now. Huh?
Oh, okay. Now we're back. I'm sorry.
That has nothing. So Eddie, I've been doing this all over the world. And one thing that I've found is technology is humans have to be agile. We have to be able to pivot. We have to be able to go with the flow. And we've spent so many years with this box mentality, thinking that everything's going to be cookie cutter and perfect. And it's not. The box is gone. The new reality is you're going to have to deal with technology, and you're going to have to deal with technology being what it is. And right now during a pandemic, we have 80 to 85% of the population on technology. Business meetings, doing these kinds of meetings, schooling, whatever, and it's pushing the limits. And what's beautiful about that is when you plant seeds, Eddie, what happens when you plant a seed? It pushes its limits, right?
Absolutely. And you got to use the right fertilizer in order to make it grow. So what you need to do is not only plant that seed, but fertilize it, cultivate the grounds of what it is that you want to do and make it happen. It's so beautiful. I mean, because right now is a perfect opportunity for people, because people are being more flexible with everything that's going on.
Is it flexible or authentic?
It's both. It's flexible and authentic. Hold on one second.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm on a radio show. Yeah. So I need to stay on the show. Okay. Can we talk later, or are you leaving now? I'm leaving now. So my wife will be back soon. Okay. Okay. Thank you. About that?
That's okay. I tried to pause.
This is real. Yeah, this is real right here.
What happens?
Okay. And here's the beauty about this whole thing is that because so many more people are doing this, and they're doing it when they're at work, they're doing it, you know, in their own home, or they're doing it outside, or they're doing it whatever. People are allowing things like this to happen and not going, oh, wow, this wasn't perfect. This wasn't this wasn't that, this wasn't the other. And they don't put a format on it.
Well, and I think in real life, if you and I, so the format of this show, just so that you know, I don't know if you know, is you and I, we meet at a cafe, or we meet at a bar, we're having a cocktail or a coffee or whatever However, we're two strangers getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we could be at the grocery store. I meet so many people when I go grocery shopping. My daughter absolutely hates going to the store with me because all of a sudden I get people's bios and they cry, and whatever God made me, I'm a beacon for. But in real life, this is the way it works. You're going to be interrupted. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have those parts of life, and that's what I love about Living and Thriving. That's what I love about this show, because it's kind of like the micro of spirituality, right? It's the real everyday fabric of America, fabric of the world, and this is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know, that's the way the world works, is it puts you in different situations where you can bring the best out of yourself at those situations. And it's so funny how they just stack up on each other, and they grow you, and they make you into a different person, and they show you the beauty of life. Life says, here's something that you're going to think is very, very ugly. But when you open that package up, you look at it and you get through it, you're going to find more beauty. And you're going to be more prepared for all of the things in life.
It's all about perspective, and you can't have true perspective without experience. And if you're not willing to experience anything, you're not really living life, right?
Yeah, you're not. And here's the funny thing is that, you know, I have some things that happened in 2006 that people call tragedies. And I say, you know what? Yes, they were tragedies, but they were also gifts. So first it started off, my business partner, he ran my business into the ground. I had to jump back in and rebuild my business. As I was rebuilding my business, 5 months later, my oldest daughter was in Korea with her husband. He was in the military. They got into a moped accident, and she passed away 45 days later. And then 4 months after that, I had a cerebral hemorrhage. Had 3 veins that burst in the back of my brain, filled my brain with blood, and they told my ex-wife, call the family, he's dead tonight. So I was supposed to die.
No, obviously you weren't. You were up there going, wrong.
Exactly. What I told the doctors was, listen, you don't tell my family what's going to happen with me, because you don't know my heart. You don't know what it is that I'm going to do. I said, I can't have 2 deaths in the family in 4 months. Not going to happen. I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to be better coming out the other side. 6 months to learn how to walk, 6 months to learn how to talk, and 9 years to rebuild my brain. But here I am. And it's wonderful.
It's a pretty brain. It's a pretty brain, Eddy.
Thank you, Rustie.
So talk to us. Well, hey, mine's kind of mushy right now. Talk to us about what it was like to look up at the ceiling at this time. I mean, that's the universe likes to give us cosmic 2x4s, and I've had quite a few. And the universe absolutely likes to make sure it hurts so bad that you're on the ground to see if you're willing to get back up, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what you went through. So you're lying in bed at night with your wife. You guys are mourning your daughter, which I can't even imagine, and I don't ever want to imagine. And you're pissed off because your partner in crime was really in crime. And now all of a sudden your head fills up with a challenge, put it metaphorically. What was it like to lay there in bed staring at the ceiling? Like, did you plead, negotiate like the rest of us would?
Well, I tell you, after my daughter passed away, it was the worst time of my life. And I was numb, just completely numb. I could not believe that this actually occurred. And it took a long time to get the reality of it happened. I kept expecting phone calls from my daughter. I kept thinking, you know, it was mixed up, because at one moment I would be, I'm going to get a phone call. The next moment is, oh my gosh, she passed away. What am I going to do now? You know, how am I going to go on with life? Because it's such a tough situation when your daughter passes away. We're supposed to pass away before our kids are supposed to. And with her being gone, it slams you in the face. But you have to ask the question, what good can come from this? What can I learn? How can I grow and be better from what she has given me during her life? And the thing that I came up with was, and this happened after the cerebral, the one thing she loved to do was go out and share with people, smile and be happy and joyful. And she was in Korea teaching English to the Koreans from her heart. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to share my smile with 10 million people. And as I share my smile with everybody, then I share her smile along with it, because energetically she's right there.
Eddy, do you think, and I come from a historical background. I'm really big into history because, again, it's perspective. And
okay.
It offers compassion and understanding when you dig all the way back to the cave time and move forward and watch humanity leap and bound through various time periods. There, up until probably about 100, 115 years ago, we had a very clear understanding about death, and it was just going to happen. We didn't really have these kinds of tetherings that we as parents now say, you know, you're supposed to die before your child. That wasn't even, you had many, many children because you knew half of them were going to die. That was the reality back then, right?
Yeah.
How has your perspective on death enhanced since your daughter's passing and your almost passing? Because you have a very different view than you did before, I'm sure.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know, my perspective with everything is you never know what challenges life is going to bring you, but each one of those challenges is something you're supposed to have, something that you grow from, something that you learn, and you improve your life. It's not really a challenge that you're given, it's a gift. So every single one of us have our stories. My story is not unique, but it's how we handle those stories, how we handle those situations that define who we are and how and what we can bring to this world. So I think my perspective now is just go out and live every single moment of your life the best you possibly can. And as you go out and you start helping other people to improve their life, your life is going to improve. If you have a situation that you're going through at the moment, go help somebody that has the same situation. And the funny thing is that's going to give you the answers of what to do in your own life. And it's going to grow you and improve you phenomenally.
I feel like when I do this, because this started out as a radio show, and then when the pandemic came, because I'm very much into service, I didn't know what else to do to be of service except bring the radio show live so that we can see the smiles and my eye rolling. It is what it is. I think that I get very energized and very excited to interview guests like you, because you really are living and thriving. You really are the embodiment of what makes this world so beautiful. You know, we have fear-based crap that is on the news and the media and people stirring stuff up and all of that, which I think is a very small portion of the world. And then we have the A-list celebrities that are all fancy and shiny, and you know, and again, that's a very small piece of the world. The majority of the world are people like you and me who are just everyday folk doing the best that we can, trying to spread love and light as we go through, you know. I like to throw my sprinkles at everybody. Sometimes they go away.
Magic dust.
Magic dust, that's it. But I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm excited. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited about the world. I'm excited about life. Tell us what your kind of feelings are. Like, do you jump out of bed like I do, going, woohoo?
Well, actually, I've got to be honest, I'm not a morning person. Okay, but I do jump out of bed excited for what's going to happen during the day. Now, if you don't mind me sharing a little story about the walk that I did, okay, when I was doing my walk, I started with $200. I ended with $200, and I never knew where I was going to eat or sleep. Okay, I walked from Deerfield Beach, Florida, to Manhattan, New York, and I took the coast.
You crazy! We're gonna call you Forrest.
Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing. Woo!
Start calling you Forrest.
There you go. Well, it's Eddy Gump. Forrest is my cousin.
Eddy Gump.
Right? Yeah. You know, Forrest, he ran for 3 years. I'm lazy. I walked, you know. And his mother, my aunt, says life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, I say life is like a box of donuts. It's got a lot of holes in it, but it's really sweet.
I love it. So
Yeah.
tell us about this fantastic journey, because $200 and walking to Manhattan. Why Manhattan in the first place? But largely, how many pairs of shoes did you have to go through? Because your feet must have been sore.
I got some big blisters, I can tell you that. But you know, the funny thing is, my destination was actually Washington, D.C. And I wanted to do a video in Washington that said, "Smile and wave America, we love you." And I had people that were going to meet me over there in Washington and all this. And it was great. I originally was going to drive. Somebody stole my van. And in 15 minutes, I decided, you know what? Nothing's going to stop me from doing this video. I'm going to walk to Washington. Then they found my van, brought it back. And I said, no. I gave it to my roommate, because if I had the van, I'm going to drive. But who's going to listen to a guy who drives to Washington, D.C. to do a video that says "Smile and Wave America"? Nobody. But a guy who walks? That's a different story. So it ended up, I started, you know, when I got to Georgia, I decided, you know what, I'm going to hang a right and I'm going to go to the Outer Banks and up to Chesapeake and all that, and then back to Washington, D.C. As I'm walking into Washington, D.C., there was the biggest earthquake that Virginia's had in 100 years. So Washington did not want happiness. It started trying to shake me up. So then I look at the news that day, and they said there was a hurricane coming up the coast. And I said, ooh, I better hurry my butt up and get up there. So anyway, the day that I got into Washington, D.C. was the day that the hurricane came through. So all the people that were going to fly into Washington didn't come. So I went out to the mall when, you know, after the hurricane and stuff like that, and I went out to the mall, and the people that were walking around the mall, I did a video with them. And then I said, this can't be over. This can't be over. I mean, Washington tried to shake me up. Then they tried to blow me away. Not going to happen. So I kept going to New York.
So how many days did that take you?
277.
277 days. How many hours a day do you think that you walked?
Well, you know, it depended. Some days I walked 3-4 hours. Some days I walked 12 hours. Some days I walked right across the street to the next hotel. So it wasn't about how fast I was going to get there.
It was just about
all about the journey.
Yeah.
It was all about the journey. I was spreading smiles. My campaign was spreading happiness awareness, spreading the smile, proving that people are inherently good. That was it. It wasn't about the miles. It was all about the smiles.
Well, and that's beautiful. I think that we need more people like that. Honestly, I think if you're grumpy grumpister, grab a pair of sneakers and get your ass walking.
Right. Now, I did go through 2 pairs of sneakers, but I wore them paper thin.
Oh, I bet. I mean, that's a lot of miles. I travel from here to Maine several times a year. That's where my daughter's father lives. So custody wise, and we do the road trip, and it's really fun. We get to see different towns and such. So yeah, I can feel the pain on that one. Lord, did you have like a camping gear? How did you take care of yourself health wise? I mean, that's a lot of energy that you exerted.
It is, and the funny thing is that, you know, I never wanted to sleep outside, but I didn't know where I was going to sleep. I had no idea, and so I'm on the road for 277 days, and $200 is not much money to start with or to end with. Okay, so I'm going along this path, and every single day I have to figure out, where am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? And you want to take a guess at how many times I slept outside?
I would say 0, because everybody hit you up and said, hey, you can surf on my couch tonight.
You're absolutely right.
Because people are good, believe it or not.
They are fantastic. They're phenomenal. They're astronomical. They are so incredible. When you have something that they can take and say, oh, okay, I believe in this, I love this, they step up and they want to help so much. And I got to tell you, it's not just people, it's organizations. I stayed in more hotels than anything else.
Really? How did you manage that?
Well, I would tell them exactly what I'm doing. I would call them as I was walking down the road, and there's all that noise and everything. this is what being authentic and real can do. Okay. I'm walking down the street. There's trucks going by. There's cars going by. There's all kinds of noise. And I'm talking to them and telling them, listen, I'm walking from here to Washington, D.C. And then later, of course, it turned into New York. I'm walking to Washington, D.C. for happiness awareness, to spread the smile, to show people are inherently good. Would you sponsor me with a room?
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, I got a lot of no's. A lot of no's.
I bet.
But here's the thing.
I'm hoping that an RV company sponsors me with an RV, because I want to go on the road, but I'm not like, I'm too old for that. That's too big.
Well, I got to tell you, age doesn't matter. I have a friend of mine that at 70 years old, he walked from California to Annapolis. Okay. And then at 72 years old, he walked from Key West to Canada. Yeah.
That's just, I can only imagine how invigorating, how really good with the universe you get, how you get really good with yourself. You are with yourself undoubtedly. I mean, what an amazing journey. I just, minus the feet thing. I don't know. I can't do the walking, but that alone time, man, you really get good.
Oh, you get good at it. And, you know, and then you get to connect with the universe, and the universe is like, okay, you're doing something that's fantastic. We're going to open up doors. And that's how I got to stay in the hotels and eat and stuff like that. Now, some of the doors, you know, they're not so good. Other doors are fantastic. I had to suffer with, I don't know if you know Lowe's Hotels. No, it's a 5-star hotel. I had to suffer with staying there.
Oh, you big baby.
I know. I had to suffer at the Hilton, the Marriott, you know, places like that. It was just, oh my gosh. And then eating. I had to eat at Ruth's Chris. Yeah, I had to eat at Joe's Crab Shack. Chef-owned restaurants. Yeah, just things like that. So I know that's a joke, but the thing is, that shows what the universe will do. When you're going out there and you're sharing your heart purely, and the intent is not an intent to take anything away, but to give, okay? And you don't look at what's going to come back your way, that is going to enhance your life and bring such beautiful things that you will carry with you for the rest of your life.
Eddy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I'm kind of like a needle in a balloon. We're running out of time, my friends, but I want people, I know, see, that's the needle part.
There you go.
I want people to be able to find more information about you, and if they want to contact you because they have a crazy idea about air ballooning across the ocean or something like that, you're the guy to go to. How do they reach you?
The Smile and Wave Project.com.
Do you have t-shirts, bumper stickers, mugs, hats, anything like that?
Yes, I do. I have a whole array of t-shirts. I have wristbands. I have my book, which is called 10 Million Smiles from Florida to New York. So, yeah.
I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I'm all about sharing things and helping anybody that I can. And I truly, truly hope that anybody who's listening out here, that I'm touching somebody, and that you will take what you've heard and use it in your own life to enhance yourself, but not only to enhance yourself, but to enhance the people around you. Because as we share ourselves with the people around us, we can really trigger something within them to want to do better in life, to want to be better in life, and to share more.
That's what it's really about, though, isn't it, Eddy?
It is.
We're not here for ourselves. That was never the intention. We were here for each other, and you are my hero. I'm so psyched to meet you. I mean, your daughter must be up there with like cheerleading pom-poms going, go dad, go dad. Like, that's just awesome.
She shows herself all the time in the form of a butterfly, you know, dragonflies, things like that. I always know that she's there. So
quickly, because again, we're running out of time and you've got a great story. I'm going to invite you on again, but I want to do a radio interview because that's longer.
Okay.
You have up to an hour for that, so that we can really get into the nitty-gritties of stuff. Your brain aneurysm, what was that caused from? Was that stress? Was that? Just some weird fluky thing that happened to be at the time of your life?
Well, here's the thing is that, yes, I was under a lot of stress, but what caused it, what put me over the top was the drink Monster.
Oh,
You know,
you're not the
energy
only
drink?
person that's told me about that. My daughter wants to try that. I tell her, hell no. No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That almost killed me. I mean, I was, you know, for them to tell my ex, you know, listen, he's going to die tonight. Call his family, you know, call your family, call everybody, because he's dead tonight. It's incredible. But, you know, Monster, Red Bull, all of those types of energy drinks, you know, they can cause a lot more damage than you think they can. And
I don't
most
even
people
know how
don't even know the stories.
I don't even know how they're still on the market. I actually, a few months ago, I met a guy who had a heart attack because of the
Yep.
Monster.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know a girl who was 18 years old, track star. Okay. One Red Bull, heart attack. So it's crazy, but they have the attorneys, they have, you know, everything behind them. They have the money to keep it going. So, and you and I hate to say this, don't make much of a difference.
Oh, don't underestimate me. I'm going to be president of the United States one day. Trust me.
There you go.
We'll make it happen.
Make it happen. Woohoo!
All
Love
right,
it.
Eddy. Thank you for smiling for 250,000 people on an international basis, and probably more because we're growing really fast.
Nice. I like
kind of
that.
scarily. Goosebumps.
You're doing great
tips?
things, Rusty.
Huh?
You're doing great things. You're doing great things, Rusty.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, and your energy just pops.
Thank you.
It goes out there and you can see that you are definitely authentic. So thank you for having me on the show.
This is like the most exciting thing I could ever do other than go to Disney World. I love the Harry Potter part of Disney World when there's nobody else there. It gets crowded.
Yes, it does.
So Eddy, last words, tips, tricks, advice, and then we'll email and try to figure out a time sometime this fall to have you on the radio.
What I'd like to share with everybody is that this is going to sound a little funny, okay? And a lot of people, it feels weird to do it, but if you try it, you're going to find out that this actually is a great tool to make you better, to see yourself. In the mornings when you wake up, when you look into the mirror to brush your teeth, say hello to yourself. Ask yourself how you're doing. Let yourself know that you are a fantastic person that has so much inside to give, and to stop holding yourself back if you are. Because I tell you what, each and every one of you are beautiful, amazing souls that are ready to blossom. And if you're already blossoming, you have more room for more flowers around you. You're beautiful. I love you. Thank you for listening for a moment. And Rusty, thank you from my heart for letting me be on the show. And I look forward to being on again.
Yay.
Bye.
You're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty. And that's Eddy, my friend who likes to smile and walk cross country because, well, why not?
He's crazy. He's crazy.
So as you know, we travel around the world meeting amazing people that live and thrive. They're authentically themselves. They don't necessarily have a filter. They've been through some real tough things. And if you don't think losing your child, losing your business, and having a brain hemorrhage all within maybe 8 months is not tough.
9 months. 9.
Yeah, it's tough. And then having to rebuild your life from ground zero. But what a beautiful surprise, traveling by foot cross country and having the real fabric of America give him rooms and food and encouragement and support. That is what this show's about. See, there's so many amazing people in this country, in this world. Wait until you meet Niraj. He's got a crazy story too, and he's in Thailand. I mean, there's so much beauty in this world, and I get to share it with you, and I'm so excited. So know that you're loved, know that you're beautiful, be kind to yourself, go and do something kind for somebody else because it's not all about you. I know, crazy. It's about what you do for other people.
Yep.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.